theory. The voice actor who played Master Chief in every Halo game to date is more famously known as Steve Downes, a radio DJ dating back to the late 1970s. Downes was most recently on Chicago's WDRV, The Drive. Welcome to Professionally Casual Gamers, the podcast where two friends kick back after a long work week and casually talk about everything gaming. I'm your host, Ralph, joined by two co-hosts, Final Fantasy fanatic Alex and our great friend, Cone.
Hey,
what's going on for everybody?
How are you guys doing?
Doing great. How about you, my man?
Not bad at all. Well, clearly we have three hosts today, and some people may not know who Cone is. Cone, tell us about yourself.
So I'm Cone. I've known these guys for a bit, and I like playing video games, so I'm on the podcast now. That's happening.
And, per the motif, the Professionally Casual Squad, he's another working adult like us trying to find time between the grind. Yeah,
makes it quite difficult.
Between the grind, find ways to enjoy your time, find ways to play some video games. He's got some hot takes like us, so we thought it'd be a good addition to the episode today.
This is going to be really awesome. I'm glad that we have three hosts today. I think it should be a fantastic episode. Well, today we're kicking off the episode for episode 4. As always, thank you. As always, thanks to everyone who has tuned in the past couple of episodes. We love hearing any feedback from all of you, so anything we can improve on, please send it our way. Tweet us, DM us, Instagram us, whatever. Email us at professionallycasualgamers@gmail.com. We're just happy to be here.
Yes, sir.
On that note, let's talk video games. Alex, Cone, what have you guys been playing?
Let's do it. All right. So this past week, I did play a lot more Paper Mario. Again, I was running into the dilemma when I opened up my Switch. I'm like, I could just play some Smash Bros.
So how far are you in that now?
Okay, so in Paper Mario, I think I've got to be nearing the halfway mark. So right now, I beat a couple more dungeons since the last episode. And what I will say, I don't have too much to talk about Paper Mario, but what I do have to give it credit for is every new environment or area that you do explore and get to play through has its own unique identity, which is really fun, especially given the paper aesthetic, the stationery, the arts and crafts aesthetic that they go for. They really go the whole 9 yards, and it's a fun novel experience.
Yeah, I saw just looking at the trailers, they had that autumn fall place or whatever.
Yes, I did really go through that.
Yeah,
and when you go through different environments, they mix up the battle music accordingly too, so nice. Same kind of general theme, with just some tweaks here and there. So in the autumn one, I think they had kind of a pre-modern Japanese vibe to it. Mm-hmm. And there's an amusement park world too that was super fun, where the toads are running the amusement park, and then when the main villain, he has these henchmen, and one of the henchmen he took over the amusement park, and he had the toads tied up. And so there was a multi-step boss fight where he had this play he was performing, and then Mario had to go on stage every time.
That's good.
And beat the performers.
Isn't that how it was in Thousand Year Door? You were always on a stage, that was kind of context for it.
Yeah,
crowd cheering for you and stuff.
Yeah, and it totally was like that. I think it's probably a callback to that.
Yeah,
I think in the battles this time around, they do kind of have that aspect. Instead of a stage, you're in the middle of a stadium. There's a bunch. You rescue toads along the way.
Yeah.
And you see all
they
the ones
become
you
the
rescue
audience members.
in the stands.
Yeah, I remember you. I'm cheering for you.
And now they have dialogue too, and then you can. So another feature I realized you could do with the coins you get, the massive amounts of coins you amass through your journey, is you can bribe them basically. You pay them coins
to get hyped. Even if they're not that interested, I got $50 for this. So
can I just skip you?
Yeah, man, $20 is $20. So they help you with the puzzle aspect. They damage some of the enemies. They might throw you a healing item. It's actually it's fun.
Okay, yeah,
right?
that makes more sense.
You're not
I remember
you're
saying I have 10,000 coins. I don't know what to do with it.
So. Yeah, spend it on the toads, greasing their pockets up real nice.
Well, so Alex, you were saying that you don't get experience or you don't level up in the game at all.
Right.
Does it get more difficult? Do you get bored eventually? What's going on there?
So in terms of battles, I do try to skip them if I can. There's obviously some battles that the game forces you to participate in. That's fine, whatever. But overall, I just want to go through the dungeons, do their puzzles, typical Nintendo game, platformer. The puzzles are fine. It's just the battles, because there isn't that much of a reward, I don't really want to waste my time.
So it's more like a puzzle game for you then, right?
Puzzle, platformer,
like
adventure.
Story, adventure.
Yeah.
Well, do the puzzles get more difficult, or is the gameplay kind of flat? I don't want to. That sounds kind of negative.
No. I totally get what you're saying. The puzzles they're fine. They make you think a little bit. It's not just like, okay, here's the puzzle, here's the solution, done and done. Yeah, it's not like too crazy difficult, but like again, I'm like nearing the halfway point, so that might ramp up a little bit. Right now, I'm on like a haunted ship, which is again like really
very
like,
Mario, just another ship.
Yeah, very very stark change in the environments to keep it fresh. A bunch of the toads are like they're manning the ship and like they're like lost or like they're like unconscious, so you have to like save them. They're like, oh, and as you're like saving the toads, you're like realizing what happened to the ship, and I'm about to like figure out like what caused all this damage to the ship, and I'm about to approach the boss battle. So
man, you really love these toads, dude. Every single time we have a podcast, you're like,
honestly, they low key are the stars of the show.
Alex, every single podcast, hey, like, have you heard about these toads? Super Mario.
It's crazy because like you would never think I would even mention Toad.
Yeah,
I mean, they're such a meme character, but like in this one, like they're actually
they're very open to be characterized though, because like Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach, maybe there's certain personalities they have to have, but Toad's like they're kind of a blank slate, so if you want to use any like clever writing or characterization, you can go for it.
And they definitely do. There's not just like one kind of stock personality or trait for the Toad. Like they're freaking all over the place, and it's hilarious though.
That's awesome.
Also, so like I was saying, playing a lot more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mentioned this last week, so bi-weekly tournaments with Game On Chicago, and so I want to say it was Friday night. They do a couple games with DePaul University. We're located in the Chicago area, so they do stuff with Overwatch, and now they're doing stuff with DePaul for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is super cool. So I participated in a 3v3 format against some of those youngsters, those whippersnapper college kids, right?
Don't know what they're messing with.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, wow, it's gotta put them in their place, put these old bones to work, and I got my ass kicked.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
it's a reversal.
Yeah, I mean,
did you win like any games or?
So we played 3 games. It was a best of 5, and I did not win a single game.
Ooh.
They were.
It's the experience that matters.
It was, I think 2 of the 3 games were like relatively close. He played a Mega Man. Which is a character
which you've never played against a Mega Man.
I have like no experience against Mega Man. He's a character who has like such a high skill cap, and he's so.
I just see them like using the leaf move over and over, so I don't know if that's like his bread and butter or not.
He utilized all the moves pretty well, all the B moves, the special moves.
Colin was like, "There's more than just the leaf move."
That was the stuff.
Yeah, he was super good. I actually like DM'd him after I came in. I'd love to play some casual with you sometime next week. Yeah. He was down for, so I'm excited for that.
Alex is in that workshop, you know what I mean?
Trying to be good.
Yeah, face people. Yeah, because I can't play against Ralph.
Dude, I'm so bad at Smash. I don't want to play. Dude, that's the thing with fighting games. Yes, it's totally fun. Fighting games are great if everyone's on the same level. But if you're significantly worse. Yeah, if you're significantly worse than someone else, you just get the floor wiped in you. It's just not a fun experience.
I mean, in terms of like just playing casuals, I love that. Because then it's like, okay, I have...
Alex is like, I love it when I can beat your ass, Ralph.
Well, okay, I do love that. Don't get me wrong. But I do love the opportunity to like have the growth mindset and see yourself improve. I think that's like, it's such a rewarding experience. Probably why I really like the Soulsborne games as well. So yeah, we participated in that. It was super cool. Hopefully we'll do more stuff with DePaul, maybe some of the other surrounding universities. Yeah.
Well, the next time you're on that tournament, we'll let our followers and listeners know when you jump on maybe like Instagram or Twitter.
I considered doing call-up. I'm like, I'm gonna get...
Nah, dude. We want everyone to see it. We're gonna show everyone how good you are at Smash.
Yikes!
So.
Big yikes!
Is that like an online thing, or did you go?
It was Wi-Fi.
Okay, yeah.
Because of global circumstances.
The good stuff, you know what I mean?
Like,
Wi-Fi
I recently
battles.
played Smash like online for the first time, and I did not understand the lag that you deal with, and like it was very difficult.
I was born in the lag, molded by it.
Yeah, I could not adapt at all. It's like press buttons, a few seconds later, the sword swings. I'm like, I have no idea how people do this, but
that's awesome.
it's notorious for a reason. But yeah, it's again in the Chicago area, so like in terms of like Wi-Fi, it's like the best it can be, but it's still not
people
ideal.
In Brazil already,
exactly.
Right, so.
At least the ping's not that too bad. That's not
so not
bad,
like
right?
not a crazy amount of video game on my end. Been watching like a lot of TV, like The Boys is out on Amazon Prime. Super great show.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for that to just finish up, and
So you can binge
we're
it.
just gonna binge it the entire time. Well, on that note, Colin, what are you playing?
So I don't play a lot these days due to an injury. It's like difficult to play video games, but yeah, I did finish Last of Us Part 2 a while ago.
Oh, dude, I would love to talk to you about that.
Yeah, that's something that obviously I don't want to get too into unless we've.
Well, what's your hot take
on?
on Last of Us 2? Because we haven't had a chance to talk about it. We'll talk
I
about
thought
it in
it
Game of the Year.
was quite good. I had some reservations about the story, but the gameplay loop was still the best it's ever been.
We've got to have Cone back for Game of the
Graphics
Year.
are awesome.
Game of the Year watch, man.
Yeah, Game of the Year watch will bring you back. It'll be good.
Yeah, but no, that's pretty much all I can say without really getting into it. The combat's really great. Stealth's still really great. Environments are amazing. So yeah, definitely something I'd like to talk about more because there's a lot to say about the story and how they developed it. So yeah.
Cool. Well, so like generally, what would you give it out of 10? Because that's like a super divisive game.
Yeah, scores out of 10 are always kind of tricky, but I don't know. It feels probably like an 8 to me. Is where I'd put it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, Alex and I have been doing this weird thing on the podcast where we have a feeling score and an objective score. So
it makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
But
Like I gave it an objective score of around a 10, but my feeling score is like a 7.5.
Yeah. I remember that. I feel like, feeling... I think they're kind of both. Like, I'd say objectively, it's an 8, and I feel it's around an 8. So.
Dude, I'm so curious to see what you think about that game. So, Game of the Year watch, you're coming on.
Game of the Year, well, I feel like we're going to have like a solid 3 episodes.
Yeah, that would be... You really got to just sit down and get comfortable for.
Because I think Game of the
happens.
Year, we'll have like a few subject matters, like different like categories. Right?
Dude, we'll record it in one day, and we're just recording for 12 hours straight.
Gonna need some Gatorade to get back into the game for that.
Oh my god. Well, anything else other than Last of Us, but I'm glad you finished it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Kind of not a lot. I mean, there's Nier Automata, which I think was like 3 or 2 years ago now at this point. So that was also a good game. It's probably old news by this point, but no, that's kind of it in summary.
Yeah, Nier Automata's great. Yeah, on my end, clearly I'm still playing Persona 5. I have finally hit 120 hours in the game, and I still haven't beaten it.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, so I just got to the new stuff last night, and the new stuff. So the new semester, it is crazy. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to check it out, Alex, because they kind of flipped the entire game on its head. Because as I was finishing the last palace of the original game, because you kind of go through the entire thing, I was thinking to myself, how are they going to add more stuff to this game? It makes no sense. All my confidants are done. I'm super overpowered, which I will get back to later, but literally I didn't know what they could do to make me want to play some more because everything was essentially done. I think I broke the game at the end, to be honest, because they changed the way Persona does things is they have confidants and you get special perks if you level up your relationship with someone. Yeah. So they changed the strength arcana, which is one of your confidants, and you're able to essentially summon a persona that is much higher level than what you can use. So I got that pretty early. And when you finish that confidant, they cut the cost of summoning those personas by half. And by the last boss, I had a persona who was level 80, which is crazy strong. And the last boss wasn't even hard at all. I killed the last boss in one turn.
So my God.
I essentially broke.
So like the original last boss of Persona 5?
Yeah, so the original last boss of Persona 5, I killed it in one turn. It was super funny.
So are they doing that on purpose to like anticipate that the end game content is like a step above what it usually be? Like it's going to be super hard?
No, like the end game content, the people that I'm fighting so far is much below my level. Okay. I legitimately think I ended up like breaking the game.
Like, was that... Was it just because you like grinded it out a lot and like you're very over leveled, or?
Well, I don't think I grinded it out too far.
Yeah.
The thing is, they changed mementos, and the one thing that you could do in the original Persona is you could farm the Reaper, which is this high end boss in mementos
during flu season,
which they changed where people could just grind out XP there. But they changed mementos where you could essentially double the amount of experience you get.
Yep.
And so with that, and the addition of Ryuji's Persona Confidant, where I think it's like level 7, if the persona is significantly lower than you, you don't need to fight them. So you just essentially just run through them and they die immediately. You get the same amount of experience, the same amount of gold. And I just essentially did that by the end of Mementos. Not even trying to grind, and by the time I noticed, I was super overpowered, killing bosses, killing people immediately. It also doesn't help that I ended up fusing an overpowered persona, which I didn't realize I did because I thought it just looked cool.
Okay.
But it has literally, people are not going to understand what this is, but it literally has this passive where the more personas that you have in your compendium, or the more personas that you're able to summon, the stronger it gets. It gets higher defense and higher
so the more
strength.
full your Pokédex is, the more
correct.
Yeah.
And then it has a signature move called I forgot what it is, but it has a signature move, and what it does is it has severe almighty damage, and it hits 3 times.
That's the one that you can't have any resistances.
Right, and it's like double the damage of a normal ability. So it's pretty broken. I think I might kill that persona and maybe start a new persona from scratch.
Just so you're not that overpowered.
Yeah, because like you
feel guilty.
The new semester is still fun. It's really cool. The story is good, but I don't like the fact that I'm just running train on every single enemy encounter. So it kind of gets a little bit boring when you just hit an enemy and then it just dies.
See, that's interesting because what you're playing through is basically like on the latest like Final Fantasy, like when they re-upload like the old ones on the current gen, where you can do like speed up or like you one-shot all these enemies. I mean, it's basically for people who they've played the stories before and they just want to replay it again with more of a recent memory. And I feel like that's fine because we've both beaten the original Persona 5.
But this is the new stuff, and
you're
feel
into
bad.
the new stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm definitely in the new stuff, and I just don't want to run through every single enemy. Like literally, I fought my first boss in the new semester, and I hit it and I killed it in one turn again. So,
oh my god!
You
didn't say this one was easier.
Yes, it is easier, but I don't want it to be too easy. I might bring it up to Merciless. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, maybe it'll help it out. I'm currently on hard, so maybe that'll help. But yeah, Persona 5 is great. I can't wait to talk about it more in detail in Game of the Year watch. I think it definitely is going to be part of Game of the Year. I need you to play it. I might just give you my game and then give you my save so you can just start from the new semester.
Oh, so okay. That's actually, I'd be down to do
so
that.
it's only 60 hours. You could do that in a day.
It's only 60 hours. But yeah, no, Persona 5 Royal is so good. I can't wait to play it. I'm playing other games. I'm playing Avengers again. I'm just doing those dailies. Nothing too crazy there, but I did jump back into Overwatch with some friends, and sometimes I just think, wow, Overwatch is that game where you can just jump in and nothing changes.
Yeah, well, how is Overwatch doing these days?
It's still really popular.
I haven't played it in
since it was released
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, I have friends that literally play Overwatch every night, and that's all they play.
Yeah,
every night. Wow.
Yeah, they play Overwatch every single night, and I was telling them, I looked at my play time, and I'm around 42 hours in Overwatch, and I think I played a lot. Yeah, but they're in like the multiple hundreds.
Oh yeah, I bet it's disgusting.
So yeah, I'm just super surprised that game's still going. It's still really fun.
I know its esports scene is actually pretty good. I mean, it's not like League of Legends, but like
I thought they were just really trying to push it, but it never really took off.
No, I think it's pretty high up there.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like its competition, like League is way ahead of it, but like besides that, Overwatch is kind of like the next thing.
Well, the issue with Overwatch 2, it's not fun to watch.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest,
because it's not. It doesn't have a top-down camera.
Right,
you can't get the action.
It's too fast, and you can't really understand what's happening. With League, yes, you need the technical know-how of what's going on. Like, yes, you know what mid is, top, jungle, things like that. But you can see what's going on, and it's not too frantic where everything's happening at once, but you understand, oh, these 3 people ulted, and then everyone froze and everyone got killed, right?
Yeah, I think the big issue with Overwatch is, and we kind of touched on this, is as a spectator, it's kind of all over the place. Like, you can do the top-down view, but then it's jumbled. But then, that's not the same view as the player. So then if you do the same view as the player as the first person, then you can't see what everyone else is doing. So it's kind of a catch-22. Like, you want it this way, but then you're losing aspects on the other view. So there's not like one view that pleases everyone, which is why League works very well as a spectator sport.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited for Overwatch 2. But
has there been any new?
Is that a thing? I thought that was just people joking.
Overwatch 2 is definitely coming out. I don't know when it's coming out. With the COVID stuff, all of the delays on the development side is definitely coming up. But they have announced, what's interesting about Overwatch 2, if you guys don't know, is that everyone from Overwatch 1 can play with Overwatch 2 players.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
And then every champion that comes out for Overwatch 2 comes out in Overwatch 1.
So what's why
would you buy?
Why'd you upgrade?
Well, the difference is, one, graphically it's going to be much better, I guess.
Okay.
And then the other thing too is, I think they're adding a single player.
Oh,
so that is something that the Overwatch fans have been asking for. The lore in Overwatch is really fascinating if you haven't had a chance to look at it.
Yeah, all I know is that I think their hero is fighting robots. That may or may not be correct, but that's my current understanding.
Yeah, that's pretty much
something along those lines.
Yeah, so they're definitely adding a story mode, and I think the story mode is what differentiates 1 and 2. But yeah, it's an interesting way of integrating those 2 user bases together.
Yeah, you keep the same player base and also develop a new product. I can't really think of something that's done that before.
Yeah, I just need that game to get crossplay, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't have crossplay yet?
No, well, usually they don't do crossplay between console and PC, especially for shooters, because it's definitely like
mouse versus controller.
It's definitely a
that
handicap
is not
for
close
people.
At all.
But if they can do crossplay for console and console, I think that would really significantly help the game.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be fun. I'd be down to play it when Overwatch 2 comes out.
Dude, we'll jump in.
Yeah, it's I like the characters a lot. They're fun. I'm trash at FPS. Man.
I mean, that's why you play Reinhardt, so you just whack him in the face over and over.
Right. Yeah, like I wanted to play the ninja guy. What's the Genji?
Genji?
Yeah. He's so freaking difficult though, and I'm just like
he barely has any. You can probably just play him as if you're not even shooting people too.
Oh, you gotta throw those shuriken, right?
Yeah, because you're right. When you get your ultimate, then you have the sword. But the thing is, I have to get my ultimate first. I need that by hitting people with the shuriken. I'm like,
well, maybe we'll play some Overwatch and run you through like some games with my people, and then they won't hate you because they're my people.
Learn a thing or two.
They would outperform me so bad. They would carry me. That's so far. I'd be 0-10.
Dude, you can just be a healer. You know, just follow me.
Oh, what's her name?
Heroes never die.
Okay, actually,
you can be in the back.
I did play her when I did play like a little bit at release, and like she was fun. Like as a healer, I think healers are typically like they have this.
Well, they're really important in the game.
Yeah, she was fun. So I might do that.
Yeah. Well, these are some great games, but old games are old, and next gen is right around the corner, and news just keeps on rolling in. First off the docket. Industry news. Microsoft buys Bethesda, which is ZeniMax Media.
I think ZeniMax Media is the parent company and they own Bethesda.
That's correct.
It's crazy. So for people that don't know, last week Microsoft announced that it bought ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion in cash. That's with a B, $1 billion in cash. For those who don't really know, that's really huge industry news. It's
a lot of money.
Yeah. So this company owns the following IPs: Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Rage, and Wolfenstein.
And Dishonored, I believe.
And Dishonored. So not only were they able to get Bethesda, they were able to pick up different studios like Arcane, Machine Games. So all of those huge studios that come out with these really fantastic games is now underneath Microsoft's umbrella.
So kind of going off of I think we briefly touched on this last week, Microsoft Game Studios has been acquiring other studios to be under that umbrella that Ralph was talking about. I want to say ZeniMax or Bethesda's like their 16th one. And to be honest, this is the one.
It's not even a studio though. It's an entire company.
Yeah, it's an entire company.
If you think about it, Bethesda has their own conference at E3.
Right.
So literally, they bought another conference at E3 with $7.5 billion, which is an astronomical amount of money. I can't even fathom it in my head. I think I'm just glazing through it, but that's essentially a country. Like,
it's a big power move,
yeah.
for sure.
So my big question for you two is, should PlayStation be worried about this move?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that changes like the landscape of how these two consoles are gonna compete with each other. Like, I know Microsoft now has a lot of new IPs that has a huge player base. A lot of people love these games, like especially Doom Eternal was a big hit. So yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something that they're gonna have to keep in mind moving forward.
Right, because for PlayStation, the competitive advantage for that company is the exclusives. Right, you have your God of Wars, you have your Last of Us, things like that. But now, is that even a factor? Right, because you now have Halo, you have the next Elder Scrolls game, any new game that comes out from Bethesda, Starfield, all of those games are now going to be, which I'm assuming is exclusive to Xbox.
Well, so one thing I do really, really want to point out is Bethesda has stated for each IP they would take it case by case in terms of exclusivity. So, and obviously, like, that's a broad painted statement for a reason. So they're not outright saying, yeah, sure, Fallout will just be exclusive, Elder Scrolls will be on multi-plat though.
So I found this crazy conspiracy theory on Twitter.
Okay.
Maybe just like a business move, but it is a theory. What if none of these games are going to be exclusive, but all of the games are going to be $70 to buy, but all of these games go on Xbox Game Pass for free?
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to point out, is because it is under the Xbox Game Studios umbrella, what Microsoft has stated is all games under the Xbox Game Studios are going to be available day one on Game Pass.
Well, so Cone, right? As a consumer, let's say you want to play all of these new games, a video game, all of these new games that are $70, right? But then there's a service that you can pay $10 for, and anything comes out is essentially free. Not free, but you're paying for it, but you're not paying $70 every time you jump in. Is that something that makes you lean Microsoft? Or are you planning on getting a PlayStation still? Yeah,
I mean, I'm still probably going to get a PS5, but yeah, it is kind of like an unbelievably good deal, and I'm waiting for like, I don't know, the other shoe to drop for them to figure out like, oh, okay, we've increased the monthly price, or like, oh, well, maybe these games aren't available. But yeah, right now it's like a crazy good deal. And like, if you want to play any of those games, you totally should do it like using Game Pass.
For sure. And the other studios that Microsoft did acquire weren't really like too crazy.
How dare you?
I mean, honestly, like I will die on that hill, as you said in episode 1. But this one turning heads. Honestly,
yeah, no, it's
like
big.
This is like something to write home about. This is something to talk about, and there are a lot of people who love these IPs, rightfully so. Fallout, Elder Scrolls, like everyone and their mother wants Elder Scrolls.
Right,
they're on 6, right?
Yeah. And they're on 6, right?
I mean, honestly, like,
when did Skyrim come out? Like, how long?
Honestly, like
8 years.
Yeah,
we're in college.
I was playing it in college, like in the dorms. So
I think it came out before college. Honestly,
no. It
Are you
definitely
sure?
came out when we were freshmen. It was either 2011 or 2012.
Yeah, so I just played that instead of studying, which was a really good move.
Academics.
What? Alex, per se, on the first video, get good grades or your parents will beat you.
Exactly. But yeah, like this is a crazy move. And as Cone and I were actually talking about this the other day in anticipation of this episode, regardless, let's say, and I really do believe, because these are huge IPs, they will be multi-plat.
Yeah, my Skyrim has been ported to like microwaves and cell phones.
So, like your smart fridge,
yeah,
it
exists
on the Tesla.
Dude, the Tesla.
Regardless of what system or console you buy it on, Microsoft is getting the profit from it because.
Yeah, no, they own them. So.
Yeah. So, like, regardless, like, it's a win-win, to be honest, for Microsoft.
Definitely. And with this news, they dropped it the day before pre-orders, which is such a good move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
It literally made me consider buying an Xbox Series X, even though I already have my pre-order for the PS5. Because literally...
Sigh.
I was just like, yeah, cool.
I'm sorry.
Love those.
I'm sorry, Alex. But it definitely made me want to pre-order it because, like I said in previous episodes, with consoles, it's the promise of the future, right? And if you're gonna do something like this, I have a PC already. I could do the essentially the Xbox layaway, the Xbox layaway where you pay $30 for 2 years, and then you get all of Game Pass, a new Xbox, and then Xbox Live, and that's such a good deal that even if you're thinking of buying the Xbox Series X 2 years ago, might as well get it now, because you're going to end up buying it anyway. And it's, even if you're not going to play all of those new Halos or things like that, all of the old Bethesda games, all of those old games are going to Game Pass. On October 1st, Doom Eternal is coming on Game Pass, which just came out in March. So even if it's on sale, that's usually $30 still. So it's a really good deal. You're going to get Skyrim, Morrowind, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 3. It's really good to jump on the Game Pass right now. I don't even know what PlayStation has no answer.
They have the PlayStation Plus, which has like those 10 games from the.
I think it was close to like 15 or 20.
Well, is that enough? Do you think?
I mean, compared to it, no, it's not enough. But I guess maybe they're getting their feet wet. They might improve that over time. But
I think like PlayStation Plus Collection is definitely a step in the right direction in terms to they have Game Pass. We need at least like something
counter to it.
But again, like, CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment has stated that their huge launch titles will not be included on PlayStation Plus Collection because that's just not financially viable to them. So like Demon Souls will not be on there.
It'll be $70,
right? Whereas Microsoft, they're like, Elder Scrolls 6, cool, it's on Game Pass day one, which is the complete opposite, and it's huge for fans.
It's not even that too. With the price of PlayStation Plus, let's say it's comparable to Xbox Live, with the same price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you're getting Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live. So even with PS Plus, you're not getting PS Now,
right?
So it's just crazy. It's a big move, and I think that yes, people are saying that they're competitors, but in the long run, Xbox is playing a completely different game than PlayStation.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Well, on that note, with Game Pass, just some numbers for everyone with some rudimentary math. It's around every single month they have roughly 150 million a month just from Game Pass. So in a couple of years, they're gonna essentially get their money's worth back, and that's just with the current subscription numbers now. And literally, that could change in the years to come. They could get more subscriptions.
I would be surprised. I'd be very surprised if it did not go up, given all the things that they're gearing up and teeing up for Game Pass.
Yeah, they're definitely losing money right now still. There's no way that they're making money. Yeah. But it's definitely a good ask. Well, on that note, related to Xbox, in the news, it recently leaked that 1 terabyte for expandable Xbox storage will cost $219 for the Xbox Series X. What are your thoughts on that? It's essentially the price of a console.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to sound dumb, but like a terabyte's a lot, though, right? Like that's a lot of storage. I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, it is a lot of storage, but the issue is with these new games, if you're looking at 4K, the size of the files are going to be much bigger.
So, like, how many games would fill up 1 terabyte?
So, like the PS4 Pro is one. Well, okay, I don't know, but
depends on the game.
Yeah, it depends on like God of War versus like Persona 5 Royal is probably way less. Right?
Yeah. Persona 5 Royal is 20 gigs, and if you have like Last of Us, it's like 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the PS4 Pro came with 1 terabyte, and like I've had to delete games.
Yeah, I have to delete stuff off my PS4 all the time. Like, there's just not enough room.
So I think like in the long run, well, I don't know how storage works with, like Game Pass because I don't use it.
With Game Pass, you just download, delete.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd probably need to.
Yeah, you still need the storage.
I think like in 1 terabyte, you will definitely run out of. Like,
so just get 3 terabytes for $600. I don't see what the issue is.
Right, and at this point with this pricing, it almost doesn't make sense to get an Xbox Series S. because the Series X comes with 1 terabyte already. The Series X only had, or the names are terrible. The Series X comes with 1 terabyte of storage already, and the Series S only comes with 500. So if that's the price for the expandable memory, it makes no sense at all to get a Series S.
Dude, I'm waiting for them to make like the middle console between the S and X, the Xbox Series SX, in case you want a little bit more storage.
It's just gonna be called Xbox.
Yeah, just bring it all the way back.
So funny story about the nomenclature of the Microsoft consoles is when there was the pre-orders this past week for the Xbox Series X and S. Microsoft saw a huge jump.
It was like 700%
for the Xbox One X, which is the current Xbox console. Because again, like,
was that a mistake or was it genius?
Hashtag boomers.
Literally that might have been on purpose to like get the old stock out.
Yeah, like, I have no idea, but I don't know. Yeah, if it was an ulterior
could you imagine?
That's so unfortunate. I mean, granted, you could just cancel the pre-order or just like return it.
No, it's Alex, funny. Could you imagine the kid that's so excited, like the high school kid?
100%.
It's like, I have one. I'm so excited.
Like, Christmas is gonna happen. They're gonna open it. It's gonna be like, oh,
this is not the new one.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, but it's the X, right? I'm like, no, the Series X.
No, this is the One X, not the Series X.
Oh man, that's so funny. But literally, I think there's 2 factors when it comes to the storage, right? One is the games that you need to play consistently. Since there's a lot of games that are becoming games as a service, those are the type of games that you don't want to delete on your hard drive.
Totally.
So your Marvel, Avengers stuff, your Destinies,
Call of Duty,
things like that, right? And those take up a bunch of room.
There's so many memes about how much storage, not even just the Modern Warfare is, but the Warzone separate game.
Yeah, I think that was another like conspiracy of like they literally don't want to give you the ability to play other games, so you have to delete everything if you want to keep updating Warzone because there's just not enough space.
Right. So let's say you have 3 games that you want to keep on playing consistently, and then new games come in like Cyberpunk or your new Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is another 60 gigs, 70 gigs.
And those Assassin's Creed games, like, they're super long. So like, that'd be one where you're gonna
need a lot of room. So that's one aspect to why you would probably need some expandable memory if for the normal person. The other thing too, it's gonna be an issue for people that have bandwidth caps. Because you can't just delete, download. If you have 1 terabyte a month of bandwidth caps, and if you're an active user watching Netflix, everyone's working from home, right? You might hit those bandwidth caps if you keep on deleting and downloading games that you want to play. So that's one big issue there. I'm curious to see if this is the pricing for the Xbox SSD drive, and it's lesser than the PlayStation one. How much does the PlayStation one cost?
Oh, I don't even want to think about that. I
assume more, yeah.
Well, are you guys planning on thinking of getting an expandable, storage for any of your new consoles coming up? Like, Ben, you're not getting a new console anytime soon, but...
Yeah, so I don't think that'll be, like, a huge issue, but, yeah, Alex, if you've got, like, a bunch of stuff you're going to play on launch, like, that might be a factor in it.
Right. I think in terms of launch, I really only want to play Demon Souls, to be completely honest with you.
That's correct.
I don't think it's a launch thing,
Miles Morales,
I don't think it's a launch issue, though, because I don't think these SSDs are going down in price, ever.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm thinking 2-3 years down the line, when you have 7 games, and they know you're going to get 7 games, what are you going to do? Are you going to buy these?
I feel like I don't play very many games of service. Like, once I'm done with a game...
Yeah.
Dude, you're not playing Marvel Avengers with me? Are you leaving me?
Dude, I haven't played in a couple
Emotionally
weeks.
cheating on me?
Yeah, I haven't played in a couple weeks, and be real with you. I do kind of want to go back. It's not like it's not on my mind. But I haven't even touched my PS4 in a while, to be honest. I've been on my Switch. But it's, I don't think the storage will be a huge issue for me, just given my gaming tendencies. But I can very much see how it'd be an issue for other people.
Well, what do you think the price is for the PlayStation?
400.
400.
Maybe. 400 smackaroos.
But I do think like SSDs and the manufacturing of those, it'll be more normalized.
But the issue is these are proprietary.
Oh,
these are not normal SSDs, right? And not to mention the PlayStation ones is way better than the Xbox one. So if its read speed is 2.5 faster than the expandable storage for the Xbox, is that going to be $400?
It might.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I guess because it's proprietary, do you think PlayStation is on the back foot here versus Microsoft? So they can control that price.
They can, but they can't. The thing is, I think they can lose money on the consoles because they always have. I don't know if they can lose money on the accessories. That's the issue because they need to make their money back somewhere.
Right.
And the accessories is a non-requirement for anyone to play the games. You're like you guys said, if you don't play a lot of games as a service, if you're not planning on playing too many games, you don't need that storage. But for the people that are like us that do play a lot of games, you're gonna need something like that somewhere down the line eventually, right? So I don't know if they're gonna reduce these prices at all because they need to make the money. I don't think they care if Microsoft's is $219. I think they're going to hold off on that news because it's going to look really bad.
Yeah.
But if that's what Microsoft is pricing theirs, I'm assuming that's going to be the pricing for theirs too. Or probably even more.
Yeah, we'll have to see whenever it comes out, see what their strategy is for that.
Yeah, so with next gen keeping at least just so much next gen news coming up.
Yeah,
Amazon just announced another
Luna.
thing.
Yeah,
Amazon Luna got announced, which is another
new challenger is approaching.
Dude, Super Smash Brothers.
Can it dethrone the Stadia? Can anything dethrone the Stadia?
Stadia dethroned Stadia.
Stadia's already like in a corner, like it packed itself in a box and shifted it back to Amazon.
Like, well, guys, I gave it my best effort. Everyone's like,
it really
who are
didn't,
you again?
No, it really didn't give it its best effort.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, Amazon recently revealed a new cloud gaming service. For people that don't know what that is, it's essentially Netflix for gaming. That makes an immediate competitor for Google Stadia, Microsoft xCloud, and Sony's PlayStation Now, and a number of other services like GeForce Now and things like that. Luna won't follow the Stadia or the Game Pass model. Luna will let people stream with these things called channels for different publishers or partners like that. These channels will be priced differently and will seemingly come with different perks and restrictions. The service will launch sometime soon in early access for some number of users, and there are 2 channels to start. The first channel will be an Amazon branded one called Luna Plus, which is around $6, and then there's another channel called the Ubisoft channel.
$6 a month.
Is it for Ubisoft as well?
Oh, no, I'm saying it's a monthly pricing plan,
not just one time.
Yeah.
But Alex, you were telling me that you essentially signed up for it.
So
why
I was
did you want to do that?
reading a little bit about it, and they have the sign up for pre-order. So I'm like, okay, sure. Like, why not? I mean, it does seem like a really good deal. I was looking at, with all the cloud gaming, it's like, okay, where can I play this? And so if you do have like a smart TV, you need to have like Amazon Fire, which I'm not sure if I do on my smart TV. Like, otherwise you can download it on like your phone or like your laptop, and then plug into a monitor or whatever. But I think like when it comes on, like if I'm sitting down and gaming, I would rather do it on my TV.
Yeah, like on a couch on the TV.
Yeah, right. So I don't want to like be staring at my like laptop monitor and playing it. So, but I mean, in terms of like it's $6 a month if I want to play these multiplayer games, because they have some good stuff on here. It's not just like, oh, okay, whatever, it's just random indie games. Like it's stuff that gets a lot of attention in the media. And as Ralph mentioned, with the Ubisoft channel, they'll have some of their newer hits on there, and if it is that same premium of $6 a month, I think that's a huge steal.
I actually don't think the Ubisoft channel is going to be $6 a month. I think that might be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
because I don't know if there's going to be some form of partnership percentage that they're going to charge Ubisoft. I'm like, oh, since you're going to be on Amazon Luna, it's going to cost, we're going to take 20% or 30% of the subscription, right? So I'm assuming there's something like that along the line. So in order for them to make a little bit of money, they might need to bump up those prices. And since those are new games, because here are some of the launch games for Luna Plus, which is the Amazon branded one. So they have Resident Evil 7, Control, Panzer Dragoon, A Plague Tale Innocence, The Surge 2, Yooka-Laylee, Grid, Abzu, and Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. One of the plans for Luna Plus is they're thinking there's going to be around 100 games for that platform. It's going to be very similar to Xbox Game Pass on the quantity of games that's going to be on there. It looks cheaper, so that's not bad.
Yeah, is that all on one channel? Because like the thing
that would be on one channel.
Yeah, because like it's a good deal currently, but if they add a bunch of other channels, like you're adding $6 to $4
Right.
to $6,
So
then
add
you're
up.
like $30 a month. It's like,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how the channel format will.
But you do get to choose, right? So if you don't care that, I don't want to play ukulele, not that that's a bad game, but
Hey, watch it.
but if let's say there's an EA channel and all you care about is FIFA, then you can just pay for the EA channel and you wouldn't need to buy FIFA every year.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the same approach as cable. Like, hey, you can just pay for like the packages that you want, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like a good offer. Maybe this could be like a good idea moving forward for like video games in general.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, similar to Stadia, is the barrier of entry into this is non-existent. Like it's just the $6. They do have the option to buy a controller that has very, very low latency with the Luna platform.
Yeah, I think it's a $50.
It's like $50, which is like a normal price for a controller, I guess.
But that's just during the early access period. That might actually go up because I'm assuming those controllers go up to like 80 because it's kind of similar to what Nintendo's doing. Those controllers are so expensive.
Right, yeah, Nintendo's are pretty expensive. I mean, like regardless, that's the only premium you need to pay up front. Everything else is on a
it's
monthly
not
basis.
$600, it's $50.
Yeah. So that is nice, and like I said, I just signed up for to get an access to the the pre-order. I don't know if I'll get it. And in the process of signing up for the option to do it, you had to enter in your download speed and upload speed, and I did it.
So
and
they can gatekeep you if you're not good enough.
Yeah,
You're not worthy.
It might be gatekeeping, right? I don't know.
Well, you have to, right? Because if it's a
yeah.
beta, you don't want the people that has 5 megabits per second playing the Luna, and they're like,
And then
"This
we'll
is
give a trash
trash."
review.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So I guess my only gripe with that is I entered the information, entered submit, like, okay, thank you. We'll let you know if you've been selected. But I don't know if my connection speed and all that was good enough. I would have liked some sort of feedback, like what are you like looking for?
Right.
What's like the minimum and like the ideal?
Well, I think it might be comparable to the other streaming services, and based on what I'm seeing with Stadia, which I tried out, same thing with the EA stuff and the Xbox stuff, I think it's around 30 megabits per second download for you to run that. And
That seems very doable.
in the city, at least, right? We don't live somewhere in middle America where there's not really that good internet, but in the city, that's very much achievable.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what they're looking for users. But I do have 2 questions I wanted to pose to you.
Ooh.
The first one, let's start with that. Do you think streaming is the future?
I think subscriptions are the future, which may or may not be saying the same thing. But I mean, just look at everything in general today. Everything's a subscription. It's like, $5 a month for that? I can do that whenever. Don't even notice it. So I think that pricing model works. I do wonder about streaming and not ever owning it. Not even like the physical version, but just never like owning the game, even digitally. It's just always like, could we go on tomorrow? Or like, you don't have. Like, I don't know, you don't have ownership of it. That feels maybe kind of weird.
I think that is probably one of the biggest gripes people have is the lack of ownership of that property. I like it. Like, I do really like the Game Pass. That's why I really upset that PlayStation Now isn't really a thing. Knock on wood, they haven't, like in the PS5 showcase, there was nothing announced about PlayStation Now, so I don't know if they're scrapping it and then they're going to rebrand it from the ground up, or they're just working on relaunching it in some sort of way. So I really like it. I'm totally down for that to be the future, regardless. I mean, I do agree. It's sometimes nice to have just the physical disc, like, hey, this is mine, or I download it. Like, I can play this, I can
play it whenever,
download whenever. But I think overall, like, it's the positives certainly outweigh the negatives.
Yeah.
Ralph, what about you?
Well, I think streaming is cool, but
it is
this
cool.
week.
That's my take. It's cool.
This week, I did come to a weird realization. So I was at the beginning of the week, I was telling Alex that my internet went out, and they couldn't send in a technician until next week. So we actually switched cable providers. But that did give me a weird wake up call about just a lot of the things for video games. I actually ended up, instead of playing video games for a couple of nights, I ended up watching Pitch Perfect instead.
Hey man, not a bad alternative.
Dude, we watched Pitch Perfect 1 and Pitch Perfect 2.
What about the third one?
Third one's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I don't own the third one. Like
I watched on a flight. I'm like, wow, at least that killed time. But oh my,
I do own the first and the second movie. But that was a weird realization for me because one, I couldn't play Marvel Avengers, right? And I couldn't do some of the stuff on Persona because I needed a internet.
Oh, really?
Right. Because for Persona, if you have like the Thieves' Den stuff, you can do network fusions where cool. You can fuse with other people's Persona. But I'm diverging here. My point is, with the streaming stuff, you're kind of shafted if you run out, if your internet goes down.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like less of an issue now because, I mean, I guess depending on where you live, usually internet's like a pretty good commodity to have. It's kind of more reliable than usual. But yeah, I mean, like if you're in the country or like in another place that doesn't have reliable internet, like you're not going to be about these streaming services because you could come back from work and be like, oh, my internet's down. I guess I'm not playing video games that I paid for. Awesome. So that's definitely a concern.
So literally, there was a storm a couple of weeks ago where our internet went down too. A tree fell down on the wires. So that took a couple of weeks for some people to get internet back up. So
that'd be
so you're essentially going to be, let's say you only went streaming. You said, hey, this is the future. I don't want to buy a box. I'm just an Amazon guy. Amazon, that's my thing. So if your internet goes down for 2-3 weeks, you're paying for a service you're not even using. And yes, a lot of the games do need, right now with consoles, a lot of the games need updates and things like that, but there is something to be said about being able to put in a disc and just play it. That's what Nintendo does, right? So
true.
It's going to be an interesting thing in the future. Hopefully, internet becomes more reliable, but as of now, I do have my reservations about it.
Yeah, it's definitely not in terms of like the gaming industry. It's not the norm. I think like we're still kind of figuring it out as we go, which is good. You guys brought up some really good points about that. I really hope it's not the only option.
Right.
I think having the ability to actually download like something like Game Pass or pop in a disc, I hope that never goes away. It kind of seems like we are shying away from that.
We are though, right? Because in the past, every single console has had a disc drive. Now there's two options. There's one with a disc drive and one without a disc drive. So that trend is definitely moving forward. I think business-wise, it makes sense for those companies because then they don't need to share any of their profits with third-party retailers like Walmart or Amazon or GameStop. Because if you end up buying it on PSN or Xbox, the Xbox store, you get 100% of all of those profits from the sales of those games.
Makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, I'm just hoping that everything kind of fits in the future. The other thing I wanted to pose for you is, do you think the Amazon Luna is a good price compared to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate?
How much is Game Pass Ultimate?
I believe Game Pass Ultimate, I could be wrong, let's say it's $20. I want to say $15, but I think it's around $20.
Right, but
yeah. But with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you get xCloud, which is the streaming side of Xbox. You get Xbox Live, and then you have Xbox Game Pass on your Xbox and PC.
And then obviously you get all the Xbox exclusives day one. And yeah, with xCloud, you don't even need a Series X, right?
No, you can just stream it.
Yeah, onto your laptop, phone, TV.
I'm assuming later,
Yeah, it's still in beta, so they're working that out. Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, xCloud just seems significantly better. Even if it is $20, right? The higher end of our guesstimate there. Because with the Luna, right, it's $6, sure, but that's only for the one channel. You're going to add on more, probably, and who knows how much those additional channels are going to be. So when you say, hey, $20, that's it for xCloud, that seems like
that's probably the better value currently. So
no, for sure. So the other thing that happened this week was TGS. A lot of different things got announced. Nothing too major. I believe it's still happening right now. I think Capcom has some form of stream happening.
It goes to the 27th, I think. So it's like tomorrow is when it ends.
So I guess at the time of you listening to this, it will be over.
Yeah. So hopefully they don't announce like Elden Ring on the last day. We're just like, nothing happened on Tokyo Game Show.
I'd be so bummed if like the new Tales game gets a release date or Persona 5 Scramble gets a release accidentally say it and I wasn't watching. But on that note, a couple of things have been announced so far. I'm just going to run through them and we can talk about things you want to check out. So, Near Replicant, which has a terrible name.
This is hilarious.
Has a.
No, you have to read out the full name. They have to know.
Yeah.
You can't run.
So, Nier is getting a remaster or a remake. I believe it's. I don't know. I think it's a remake.
So after you run through this razzmatazz of a title, I'll kind of give some insight on it.
Yeah, so Nier Replicant version. This is a terrible name. Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139.
Nice.
Is getting a remake, right? It's an upgraded version of a game that came out in 2010, and it will be releasing in Europe and North America for PS4 and Xbox One and PC on April 23rd, 2021. Now that I look at that, it's surprising that doesn't say PS5 or Xbox Series X or S.
Those will be playable. Because,
you think so?
Yeah. So remember in the showcase or post-showcase, the Sony announced 99% of the PS4 games will be playable on the PS5.
Right, but I'm surprised that there's not a
PS5 native version.
Right, like an optimized version where it maybe has better frame rate.
There might be
better graphics and takes.
It's like half a year away.
Right, I'm curious. It's interesting that they have that. The other thing that they have is Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory will be getting a playable demo in mid-October, and then it will be releasing on November 13th of this year. And then the other interesting thing that got announced is that Microsoft has reduced the price of the Xbox Series S, specifically in Japan only, by $28.
Console war is over. They have won.
Yeah, 28.
What a power move.
Smackaroos.
Well, no, so they've always had a problem in the Japan market.
Oh, yeah.
So
they have like a Moe mascot for it now. I remember seeing there was some news that when they're advertising in Japan, they have like an anime girl that's like Xbox themed to try to market it in Japan.
I didn't know that, but that's hilarious. That makes
Japanese people in anime makes sense.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
They've done that for past consoles for Xbox as well. I think that's a thing. I'd have to look into that, but yeah, that's a good strat. Honestly, America should be doing that too. They're leaving money on the table.
There's gonna be
that whole demographic that they don't know about.
There's gonna be that one person that's like, I'm gonna work the system. I'm gonna buy the Xbox in Japan, but they pay more in shipping to the United States.
Yeah, they pay $200 in shipping. That's net gain.
Yeah, I mean that is interesting that they're going that route. I mean, I do understand, but a lot of the Japanese focused game, the RPGs of the game.
Yeah, the Xbox, they don't. Sony. Yeah, they don't really care about Halo or Gears of War, kind of third-person shooters in general. So.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Well, I mean, Resident Evil 4, so just kidding.
Guys, don't worry. Microsoft's gonna buy Square Enix, and Alex is gonna need to buy
I would
Xbox.
jump ship then.
Would you?
100% jump ship if they acquire Square Enix. Yeah,
I would definitely buy an Xbox if they bought Sega.
Sega, because
Sega owns
Persona,
Atlas.
Right? Yeah.
So I would buy a console just to play the next Persona game. 100%.
I think that's super unlikely. I know that's kind of just hypothetical, but,
right?
Because Sega and Sony have a pretty sweet thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, though, I do want to ask you a question that's kind of related to what we previously were talking about. Do you think third-party studios are just going to disappear soon? Is PlayStation or Sony just going to end up buying Ubisoft, and then Xbox ends up buying
everything
EA?
becomes a huge conglomerate.
Right. So instead, there's going to be mega video game companies instead. Is that something that you think would happen in the future?
I think that's a bit much to think they disappear entirely, because I'm sure there's benefits to working with a third party or being separate from a big company, but I guess they'd have more financial stability, but also maybe less creative control. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of that trade-off. I'm not sure I'd like that. I feel like there's a lot of personality to be had when you're just a third-party developer. You're doing your own thing. You have a team of like-minded people that really create something they're passionate about, and that may be more difficult if there's larger corporations hey, we need to hit these numbers. This is the kind of stuff we do. So yeah, I'm not sure. I can see it trending towards that, but not entirely disappearing.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, this is really the first generation where we're seeing that to a notable extent,
right.
At least. Mm-hmm. I don't think that would. I mean, I don't think it'll be a thing. I hope it doesn't become a thing.
Yeah.
I love exclusives. They keep the competition rising, the bar of competition. But I love the idea of cross-platform play is now becoming a bigger thing. So if you take that away, I don't know.
Isn't cross-platform like kind of going in opposition to exclusives? Or
yeah, so I'm saying if Sony acquires half the third-party studios, Microsoft acquires the other half, there would only be exclusives, and like cross-platform play wouldn't become a thing because it'd only be exclusive.
Gotcha.
So like I like the idea of let's have some exclusives on both ends, and also let's have some third-party games that are playable on both ends, and you can play with your friends on the other end.
Yeah.
Well, Alex,
like
would
I
you
like
care?
that atmosphere environment.
Would you care if Final Fantasy 16 you could play it for $10?
If it was like on Game Pass.
Yeah. That's right. So you're saying, I would care about cross-platform, but if you can play Final Fantasy 15 on Game Pass for $5, would you care?
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, Game Pass is it's an amazing deal, right? Like, if I'm not crazy about like the Elder Scrolls series or like Fallout, but like that's super enticing,
Right.
As a consumer, someone who's into those games. So, yeah, if they like did acquire Square Enix, like they're like my favorite game dev. Yeah, I don't think we will, but
Alex would cry.
I'd shed a tear.
Well, on the note of games, right, we have this segment called Budget Gaming. These are the deals of the previous week, so they're going to be coming out soon. So if you don't catch these by the end of Monday, these deals will be gone. So one thing I wanted to add was the Xbox Game Pass stuff. Things that they just recently added was Resident Evil 7, Night in the Woods, Wasteland 3, and then Halo 3 ODST. So all these really great games you can play for $10 if you jump on the Game Pass on the PC or on the Xbox. The next thing is that on Xbox right now, there's the Rockstar Publisher Sale. The Red Dead Redemption is $30. And then additionally, there's a Resident Evil franchise sale. So Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 2 are both 50% off. On PlayStation 4, a sale just for Alex, being the biggest weeb in the world.
Cone and I were actually looking through that sale yesterday.
Last night, just browsing through it.
Yeah.
So the Big in Japan sale, I'm so excited for Golden Week. Totally diverging, but Golden Week sale is like one of my favorite sales of the year. But the Big in Japan sale is happening right now on PlayStation. Yakuza Remastered Collection is $30. I believe those are all of the Yakuza games on PlayStation, so that's pretty good.
Isn't there like 8 or 9?
I think I could be wrong. I think the Yakuza Remastered Collection is only
the remix, like the Kiwami is like a remake of
No. I think it's just 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. Does that include 0 or
no? 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2 and 6, which 6 is like the most recent one they released. I think it released like a couple years ago. I do not believe those are included on this collection.
Okay, so it's like 3 games for $30.
Yeah, so
it's still really good.
3, 4, and 5 are released on the PS3, and so they just remaster those.
Well,
there's like 1 and 2
were like
completely
on
the PS2, so they revamped them. Yeah.
And then there's the Kingdom Hearts All-in-One collection, which is literally a fever dream on how they name these things.
I love that. It's so
but
true.
It's $30. So what comes with it? This is what I mean by a fever dream. Kingdom Hearts 1.5 is included in the collection. Kingdom Hearts 2.5 Remix, and then there's Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
So is it the final chapter or is it the prologue
it's
to the
final chapter prologue.
Oh, okay.
And Kingdom Hearts 3. So I believe all you need to all of the games you need to play to understand what happens in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you play them, you probably still
is in this collection, but literally I need them to figure out how to name their games because it's crazy. The next thing is Nintendo actually has a pretty decent sale this week, which is surprising. They have a Square Enix sale, and so Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age is $25 this week, along with Final Fantasy 8 Remastered is $10 this week. So,
and I will say that is a very solid deal for the Switch. In the PS4's Big in Japan sale, a lot of the Final Fantasy games are on there as well. So if you don't have a Switch and you still want to play a lot of the Final Fantasy games, they're available on PS4.
Well, clearly Alex is a corporate apologist and wants all the money to go to PlayStation. The next thing is on Steam, THQ Nordic sale. There is that they don't have a THQ Nordic sale. That's totally wrong. That's from the last Nordic show. Oopsies.
Misinformation.
But Steam does have a sale right now. No Man's Sky Origins, which is they just recently released a new update to that game. That game just keeps on adding more stuff, and I'm so glad for that game because it really released to a terrible audience.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how to feel about it because on one hand, like the first release was kind of an insult, but they have put like so much effort into it that like it's kind of making up for it. So I guess good on them.
Yeah, honestly, like I agree.
It's a good game.
Everyone was super upset about it. Like they promised so much and they delivered just so little.
It's absolutely nothing.
But
now they delivered so much.
Yeah, I mean they've made like public apologies, like multiple. They've been putting in the man hours. Like they've seen the wrongs. They're working towards making it right. Like I think it's very commendable.
Yeah, and all of these updates have been free so far. So if you if you buy it, it's $30. It's not bad. Yeah. Not bad at all. I've heard really good things about it. The next thing I want to shout out from Steam is Middle Earth: Shadow of War is $10. That game is pretty good. I checked it out. They have a really cool system that I thought other gaming studios would definitely pick up, but I guess not.
Is it the Nemesis thing?
Yeah, where you have your own, you made up rivals in the game depending if they kill you.
You're like, I remember you punched me in the kidneys that time. You're just like, I did do that.
And then you can like control like different factions that you defeat. They have some cool systems.
Yeah, so that's $10, so that's not bad. And then on the Epic Game Store, I always want to show off the free stuff. Roller Coaster Tycoon is free until October 5th, I believe, so that's not bad.
That's a throwback.
Yeah,
that's
Epic
cool.
Game Store is definitely trying to make a competitor for Steam, so definitely check that out. One thing I wanted to shout out there is that Untitled Goose Game is $15.
Hey.
And they just added co-op. So very exciting.
So you can do two gooses. Geese eye. Yeah.
There was I think one of the things that I've seen is that one of the goals you have is to bully a child.
Oh my!
And so now you can bully a child with 2 geese.
Wow!
Possibilities are unlimited.
Honestly, like that does seem like something that's super fun. That's definitely a game where if you have like a significant other who's not very much into video games,
they can just sit down and be like
and goose around. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you for sticking around for our 4th episode of Professionally Casual Gamers. We had a lot of fun hanging out with each other today, especially with Cone in the house.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
He will make his return.
We hope you did too. If you have any discussion topics or questions, please send them over at professionallycasualgamers@gmail.com or our Instagram, Twitter at professionallycasualgamers. See you next week. Keep it casual.
Bye.
See ya.